In this video I'm going to show you how to use nested for loops. So the example that I'm going to use, I want to output a square of hashtags, and the size is defined by a variable. So I create a variable size and I let the user enter a size. So if 4 is entered, I would output a square 4 times 4. So let's start the first for loop. The first for loop here will be my rows. So I call this int row equals 0, row less than the size, and row plus plus. So this for loop essentially does 0, 1, 2, and 3, and assuming size is 4, it would stop here. Now, when my row is 0, I want to have another for loop that does the entire row, essentially goes over the columns for this row. So here do for int column 0, column less than the size, call plus plus, and I want to output the pound sign. So again, if we go through here, when row is 0, 0 less than the size, I will execute this block of the outer for loop, and this block happens to have another for loop. So that means when row is 0, the inner block will be 1, 2, 3, 4 pound signs. Now at the end of this inner for loop that outputs these 4 pound signs or hashtags, I add a line break, and after the line break I will increment row to 1. So now my row will be 1. And when row is 1, I do the same loop here again. I start with 0 and I update 1, output 1, 2, 3, and 4 pound signs. Then I'm done. I output the line break, increment row to 2. So row here is 2. And when row is 2, I do the same thing again. Column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Output a line break, increment row to 3. Again, for loop 0, 1, 2, 3. When it's 4, it stops. I'll put the line break, and then I'm done. And I allow put a line break after the very end as well. So let's run this, and let's say enter 4. Here we get the 4 times 4 square of hashtags. So remember that the outer loop are the rows here, and the inner for loop does the entire row with columns. So column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then increment row by 1, and again column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I enter a different size is really just the limit that I enter. If I enter 7, I get 7 times 7. If I run this, enter 1, I get essentially 1, a 1 times 1 matrix. So let's run this and say we have 4, and we want to replace the first row. We want to output zeros or O's. So how can we change this? What we can do is just check here is when row is 0, we want to output something else, and otherwise when row is anything else, we output the hashtag. So when row is 0, we want to output O. And now when we do 4, you can see we get 4, get the zeros here, and all the other rows have something else. We can also check when row is 0 or row row plus 1 equals the size. So we exclude the size, that's why I have to do the plus 1 here. So essentially, if we have, in this case, we have size 4, so we can check up here when my row is 4 minus 1, or my row is 3 and I add 1 to it, I have 4, this is my last row. So when I run this, this will give me the first and the last row will be zeros. Or I could say I only want to change the top corner to 0 and everything else should be a pound sign. Then I could do is when row is 0 and my column is 0. This means this little spot here in the corner. I want to change it. So I do col 0, row 0 and column 0. When I run this, you can see it's only the corner here. So I have this up here as a reference. These ones is the column variable, and this one, the vertical line, is the row variable. So when row is 0 and column is 0, then I'll put something else for the spot. And I can address the other spots as well. I hope this gives you some idea how to use this. We can add more complexity. We could add when they match, for example. And let's actually do this. Let's say when column equals, when row equals the column, the output is 0. So here we get a diagonal. So we can add a lot of complexity to this. And this is kind of fun programming exercise. So I hope this gives you some idea how to use and how to practice with nested for loops. Thank you for watching.